To welcome you on behalf of the board of the Institute of Black World 21st Century. Our board chair, Rick Adams, is right here. We had another board member who's around, but I also want to make sure I introduce Don Rojas, who is a board member and also Director of Communications for the Institute of Black World 21st Century. And naturally, you will be meeting in just a second the president of the Institute of Black World 21st Century, Dr. Ron Daniels. My job is simply to call your attention to the fact that we have some superb presenters who will speak about a definition that we have arrived at, that they arrived at. These are the authors, and the context will be given by Dr. Daniels. But I want to make sure I thank all of you. I must recognize while I'm doing this, the two, if you don't mind, Dr. Daniels, the two task force chairs of our IBW FEMA task force. In the back is Brother Joseph Muhammad, the immediate past president of the International Association of Black Firefighters. And you will hear shortly Nana Dr. Pat Newton, the other co-chair, who is the immediate past president of the Black Psychiatrists of America and its current executive director. So without further ado, I'd like to ask Tony if you can find a spot to come on up right here. And I'm going to get out of the way and turn this over to the inimitable Dr. Ron Daniels.
All right. Well, it's good to have such a press agent and marketeer like Baba Dunstan. Give him a big round of applause. Baba is the President Emeritus of the National Association of Black Social Workers. He also was the highest ranking official in the first Cuomo administration, the best Cuomo administration. I guess I'm allowed to say that. He did a lot, and he and his deputy, Roz Prudhomme, who's here, did an extraordinary work for lots of people. And we're honored that he is willing to serve as the chairperson and coordinator of the Black Family Summit. Just by way of some background, for those of you who are here, we're on the verge of having, at this critical moment, who would have forecast that we would be here in Baltimore, in the eye of the whirlwind, in the storm, if you will, in this moment. We're about to convene IBW's annual education and orientation retreat around the war on drugs, and to talk about how we overcome it, how we repair and heal Black families and communities. It is in that context that at last year's retreat, there was a vigorous discussion about the harm that is being done by the war on drugs and various discriminatory policies, racially biased policies, that disproportionately and adversely impact Black families and Black communities. Some of that has to do with an absence of culturally appropriate definitions and ways in which we should be related to as people of African descent. And so at that retreat, there was a challenge issued about how to deal with that. And a response that you're going to hear today is a direct outcome of that conversation. And we feel good about that because the Black Family Summit is a formidable force in the Black community, and one that we look forward to being even more of a formidable force in the months and years ahead, because we are in some difficult times. And so the expertise that they bring as healing organizations is incredibly important when you look at the kind of trauma that you see in communities like here in Baltimore and all across the country. This is the trauma and how we move forward to deal with the policy implications, how we overcome the damage and the harm. So I'm going to first bring to the podium our co-sponsor for this event, the Drug Policy Alliance. And let me just say that without fear of contradiction, that the Drug Policy Alliance has been the foremost organization in challenging the war on drugs in this country and throughout the world, without contradiction. They have been absolutely entering this fray, we made no pretense. We entered it because we knew it was damaging our community. We were not experts. We didn't know a lot about what we were doing, except we knew it was wrong and had to be challenged. So we have been learning from organizations like the Drug Policy Alliance, the Open Societies Foundation, and any number of organizations. So now to come to bring her remarks as our co-sponsor, but also the one who actually issued the challenge. We'd like to bring Yolande Cador, who is the Director of Strategic Partnerships at the Drug Policy Alliance. She hails from New York. Would you please welcome Yolande Cador?